In this proof of concept, attack simulation was conducted on a FortiGate VM from Kali machine in a safe and controlled setting. Ingesting FortiGate logs using Splunk Connect for syslog. SC4S is an open-source solution for getting data into Splunk. It sends data to Splunk via HTTP or HTTPS. A sample data is sent to the UDP port 514. On Splunk Web UI, we can verify successful installation of SC4S by searching for source type SC4S events. We can also verify that Splunk is receiving the sample data by searching for the message Hello SC4S. We can verify that Splunk is receiving FortiGate logs by filtering on the source type FortiGate traffic. We can also apply filter on the source type FortiGate event. Ingesting FortiGate logs through FortiGate app. Another option to ingest FortiGate logs on Splunk is through FortiGate app. By selecting Install App from File option, FortiGate app is installed on Splunk. Data input on UDP port 5514 is added on Splunk. FortiGate is configured to send syslog on UDP port 5514 to Ubuntu host where Splunk Enterprise is installed. Search for FortiGate on Splunk Web UI. Verify that FortiGate logs are being ingested. Verify that source types FortiGate traffic and FortiGate event are available. Configure Splunk Universal Forwarder on Windows. In this scenario, Splunk apps for Windows and Microsoft Sysmin are already installed on Splunk. The apps have been configured with a custom server class called Win. On the Windows host where Splunk Universal Forwarder is configured, all the required configuration files have been copied to the local path and have been edited accordingly. For the Sysmin app, the index called Sysmin log is created on the Splunk and the config files point to the same index. Likewise for the Windows app, the index called WinEvent log is created on the Splunk and the config files point to the same index. Note that Windows event logs are manually enabled from the config file. Once the changes are made, Splunk Universal Forwarder is restarted. On the Splunk Web UI, we can see that events are generated on the Sysmin log and WinEvent log indices. We can verify that data is being forwarded to Splunk by searching for source specific to Sysmin and Windows event logs. We can see Sysmin logs in real time. We can also see Windows event logs in real time. The source and source type filters show options for Sysmin and Windows event logs. Introduction to Splunk with attack simulation. SSH brute force attack was simulated from Kali machine to FortiGate. Also, SSH login attempts were made from other internal hosts to FortiGate. On Splunk Web UI, search for admin login failed from source type FortiGate event. From the Interesting Fields panel, select User and Top Values. Alternatively, you can filter on source IP top values. Save as report. Set title as FortiGate failed SSH login sample. Click Permissions. Select Display for App. Select Run as User. Assign Read to everyone. Click Save. Alerts have been created. It triggers alerts when there are failed login attempts on FortiGate. A dashboard has been created. It includes pie charts showing failed logins by user, the report filtering on source IP, and the line chart showing login trends. Another dashboard has been created using Dashboard Studio. Dashboard Studio provides tools to customize dashboards in Splunk. In this proof of concept, we demonstrated how to ingest FortiGate logs into Splunk and configure the Universal Forwarder on Windows. We also created reports, alerts, and dashboards using an attack simulation. For more details, refer to the Cyber Defense Kit documentation.